welcome to another episode of Alpha Audio. Today we have the IsoTek Titan V5. Check it out. People that follow Alpha Audio know that we've played with the Titan EVO3 for quite some time. I think for about 2 years. And we loved it every day. But then we had to return it. That's the life of a reviewer. And we missed it quite a bit, of course. But then we started renovating the listening room, improving it. And, you get in another project and you start to forget what the Titan did in your system. And this is quite a story, actually, because, we renovated our listening room, improved it, improved the acoustics. And it was a huge project, actually. And we learned quite a bit. Especially, we learned a lot about acoustics and what it does to your bass response. And although we got it very well close, not close to perfect. We got it. We have a good listening room now, but there was always something missing, especially in a deep bass. And we thought, it could be the new room because we had to remove some absorbers and we placed some other absorbers, but every absorber is different. So we thought, maybe it's that. But then we got the Titan V5 and it was like coming home. It was. It's like you get some extra bass, some extra deep bass in your system, and it improves on the dynamics, especially of that bass, and the layering and the texture of the bass. It was all back. And I was like, okay, so this was actually not an acoustical problem, but more like a power problem. And wow, who would have guessed? It's amazing what it does. It literally is a beast in your system. But before we get to that, we will get into the technology a little bit, because I'm already getting very enthusiastic about what it does in your system, or is at least in my system. Let's talk about some technology, because we were talking about the direct coupling inside, and how it works is like the amplifier doesn't know or feel filter in the chain, and that's how it's supposed to be. But inside there are 4 transformers, and 4 smaller ones and 1 bigger one, so 5 in total, and there are some capacitor banks and other components that are in some sort of GUI or resin to cancel out all the vibrations that could be inside the cabinet. The layout is actually pretty much the same between if you compare the EVO3 to the V5. The EVO3 also has 4 smaller transformers and 1 bigger one, and capacitors, of course, in resin or in GUI or whatever, but the components are different. We opened up both, and we noticed that the V5 has different transformers than the EVO3. So no, they're not really the same. Of course, this cabinet is silver and that one is black, and the shape is different, but some producers put the same in a different cabinet and say, here you got a V5, or no, not in this case. They're actually different components, and you can hear it because it sounds different, obviously. On the back, this one has 3 sockets and that one has 2 sockets. So you get an extra outlet, which could help, and I think it's wise of them to do that, because actually this one is more expensive. This one is 4,800 euros and that one is 4,000 euros, about 4,000 euros. You do get a nice power cord, of course. It's a pretty good power cord. You can buy better if you like. But in order to make the price difference okay, I think an extra socket does help. And producers can't help it. Shipments are ridiculously expensive these days. Components get really expensive these days. So 4,800 euros. Yes, it's more expensive, but you get an extra socket and extra power protection, because this one goes to 150,000 amps or something. So that you could feel secure, of course. IsoTek talks about direct coupling in their Titan series. And what it means is that your amplifier, which you connect with a power cord of course, doesn't feel the filter. It feels like it's directly into the wall, and that's what it's supposed to be, because honestly we didn't really believe in filtering for power amps, because in most cases you lose dynamics, and what you don't want to lose in the system is the dynamics, because that makes the music alive. And when we first got a call from IsoTek, we thought, yeah, sure, your filter is perfect and your filter doesn't harm the dynamics of a system. Well, okay, just send it in and we'll see. But then we got it, and we attached it to the Bryston 4B we use in our system, and it was like, wow, mind-blowing, honestly mind-blowing, because we actually didn't lose dynamics, we actually got more dynamics. And yeah, but that was the Titan EVO3, and the Titan EVO3 was already very, very impressive in terms of dynamics and calmness and control. And that's why we used it for a longer period, because we couldn't lose this filter in our system. We got so attached to it that it actually, we thought about buying it because we didn't want to lose it. But all right, we had to send it back because we didn't have the money to buy it. And then we got the EVO5, like I think 4 or 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago. And IsoTek sent us both, because they said that the Titan V5 is really so much better that you can hear it easily when you compare both. And we like that about a company, that they are so convinced about the improvements and so proud of it that they send you both versions. We really would like it that all companies would do that. And we know Bluesound did with the old and new Node, and well, IsoTek does it with the old and the new Titan. And we attached the EVO3 first, and I was like, yeah, wow, that's really good. It's like coming home, like I said earlier with it when we attached the EVO5. And then we attached the EVO5, and it was like, wow, okay. The first thing we noticed was that the bass is even better than in the EVO3. It's not deeper per se, maybe a little bit deeper, but it's even more textured and even more precise and detailed. But apart from the better bass, the imaging is so ridiculously good. It's of course not that this filter plays anything or amplifies anything. It's just that apparently the Bryston is so good that now it can show its full potential. And we're really amazed by the holographic image we hear now in our listening room. Well, not now, because the EVO5 or the V5 is now standing on our table, but we were really amazed by the holographic image. And the mid-highs are even more smooth and free of distortion. So it's overall a better product. And is it a huge difference? Well, it depends on your definition of huge. I think it's very audible, and I think it's better in all ways than the EVO3, and the EVO3 is already really, really good. So if you own an EVO3 and you are like, yeah, I would like some extra quality in my system, well, the V5 is better. If you have an EVO3 and you think, yeah, I'm happy and I don't have all the money in the world, well, yeah, of course, don't run to the store. But yeah, it's definitely better than the EVO3. We made some sound samples for you between no filter and this one. We hope we get the time to make some extra sound samples from the EVO3, but it takes a lot of time to make them. So excuse me that I couldn't do 3 scenarios, but we'll do our best to add the EVO3 sound samples later on. But you do get them from this and no filter, so you can compare the influence of the Titan V5. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.